It's not about motivation. Winners need discipline. Wake up and win today. Discipline comes from within.
Boxing King Media in association with Box Raw. Mr. Spencer Fearon, the knowledge. Just tell me, you've just seen an epic battle. You're a man full of knowledge. I know you're going to compare this to something down the history books. Talk to us.
No, I'm not going to compare it to anything down the history books. I remember seeing some barn burners of fights for British titles and that. And that was an incredible fight that we witnessed. And you know what? It was fitting that it was a draw. You know why? Because now we've got an excuse, a proper validated excuse to say that we want to see it again. And inshallah, God willing, that we see it again, because that was really entertaining. I really enjoyed that.
A lot of people were questioning what Fabio's going to show, not Fabio, sorry, Frazer's going to show in this fight. You know, most people picked Fabio to win. People said Frazer will fold towards the end. We saw the complete opposite. Both men showed incredible heart, grit. When's the last time you saw something like that from two men in the same fight?
One of the most epic displays that I saw, remember Danny Williams versus Matt Skelton. That was an incredible fight. I mean, just a stone throw away from where that fight took place at the XL. That was at the XL. That was an incredible fight. And one of the best fights that's one of the best fights that I've seen, how them two just went at it. But to have witnessed what we saw tonight, trust me, both of those guys got to be given incredible credit, you know. And I think that's just gonna do both of them well for their careers. You know what I mean? It's gonna do both of them well.
How did you score it, Spencer?
Do you know what? I was so enthralled by what I was witnessing. I believe that the draw was the correct thing, right? I do. I believe that the draw was the correct thing. And also then Frazer's got to ask himself, if he didn't have the point deducted for the low blow, right? Which was pretty peculiar, because I don't think it was a deliberate low blow. I don't. I'm going to be real with you. He would have actually won because he got a point deducted. If he didn't have the point deducted, he'd have won on the scorecards. So
a fight like that, how much does that take out of both men?
They're both relatively young in their careers. So I don't think a fight like that is going to do that much damage, right? I think what a fight like that will do is actually make both guys realize that I can tough it out and I can be in these things. You know, little slight things that we saw. When we saw Frazer at the end of the fight, totally exacerbated, and he fell down on the ropes, like he was on the ropes, and he tried to sit down, he fell down. On those kind of things, how you conduct yourself at the end of the fight when judges are tallying up scores means a lot. So when you're seeing you down and all the rest of it, but yet you looked over, and Fabio was fatigued himself, but he's like celebrating, and he had very clever thing, like Dylan White came in, yeah, hold up your hands and all the rest of it, because Dylan knows through experience. I mean, he had the hell of his fight with he's had two wicked fights with Derek Chisora, but the first fight they had with Derek Chisora, and that was actually for the British title as well. It was jaw-droppingly good, right? So little things that you learn as you go on in the game. So that was inexperience, and the good thing was Clifton Mitchell knows, because Clifton Mitchell, even though they're running security, but he's still Frazer's guy. He was trying to pick him up, like, nah, bro, you don't show that. You don't show that. Do you know what I mean? And that's how, because it's lasting impression on the judges. But either way, I'd love to see a rematch in that fight as soon as possible. I thought the whole card that they put on was excellent. You know what I mean? We've got to give a lot of props to Boxer. That was a really good card. Really good card.
The last question on that fight: what's one thing you learned something new about both men tonight from that fight? Something you didn't know that they had before.
Okay, what I realized with Frazer CLARKE is that he can really tough it out, because when he got hit and he got dropped, he was hurt, you know. It wasn't no joke. And there's a couple times in there, like Wardley really did stick it on him and hurt him. And what I learned from Wardley is like, he ain't just some guy with quick hands, and he ain't just some guy who can punch a bit, who's in fights. He's very intelligent, but what I learned about Wardley is that he is so prepared to bite down on his gum shield, because there was times where he looked hurt and fatigued, and he's that guy that can bite down his gum shield. Both guys can, but I did not expect that from Wardley. I mean, I didn't expect that, to tell you the truth. And it was a fantastic. That's what I learned. And I learned that two of them together, they gel and they make a fantastic fight.
And the last question I've got for you, Spencer, we saw also tonight Adam Azim versus Harlem Eubank's been announced. What do you make of that as a fight, and is that the right fight? Because I think Ben Shalom said that he feels it's a bigger fight than fighting Dalton Smith, and just the matchmaking and the whole decision to give up the belt and fight Harlem.
I think it's a big fight simply because you have the lineage of the Eubank name, right? But Harlem Eubank isn't a big name, him per se, right? But the fraternity of where he's come from is a massive name. It's a historical name as well. And it's even a bigger name because Chris Eubank's older brother beat Baron McGuigan. He was the first person to beat Baron McGuigan, even though Baron McGuigan beat him in a rematch, but he was the first person to beat Baron McGuigan. So it's all of that. And like Baron McGuigan and Shane, they work with the Azims. That is a really, really good thing. And I also like the confidence of Harlem saying that deep down inside you don't want it. And I think it also it's a good thing to make, because there's a lot of pressure right now on Adam Azim for him to go and fight Dalton Smith. And now he's fighting this fight. So it's a good fight. It's a credible fight for him. It's a good fight. He's an unbeaten fighter. But I think the Eubank name, the brand of the Eubank name, yeah, it's a good fight. I'm looking forward to that fight. Definitely looking forward to that fight.
Good stuff. And before I let you go, I can see you got the 313 Al Madina t-shirt on, and I think we spoke off camera earlier on, and I understand you're doing some charity work. You're flying out on Tuesday. I think it's only right for the people to know that the money that they donated from the last video, and if anyone did donate, thank you very much. Just let them know where you're off to on Tuesday.
Oh, on Tuesday, I'm off to Jordan, which is 3 countries away from Palestine itself, where myself, a couple of the guys from 313 Al Madina charity, where from the fundraisers that we did with Hamzat Chimaev, we raised a good portion of money, because like within that month, myself and Ahmed Khan and Hamzat Chimaev, we did like £1.4 million we raised. So it's always good to see like where your money's going to. So I'm going out there to to be the overseer of the aid. So all of the aid that's being sent, so it's being flown in there. I'm going out to the docks where the things are, and we've got special convoys that then take the stuff and they get the stuff into Palestine to help the people who have been affected by what's going on in the Gaza right now. So that means a lot to me, especially from where I've come from and of my culture, that I'm saying like at this time in the holy month of Ramadan, I'm going out there to do that bit. And before anyone starts, I'm also doing something out in the West Indies in summer with 313 Al Madina for the colleges and underprivileged kids out there. You know what I mean? Charity begins at home. Yeah, I'm British, but I'm also of Jamaican descent. So I'm doing something out in Jamaica for a couple of their colleges out there and their schools through a man called Mr. Al Hamilton. I'm going to be doing that. And I'm also doing something back to Pakistan, which I'll be doing. So I went there a few years ago, if you remember, and I'm going back out there. But this time I'm going with 313 Al Madina. So yeah, so now that I'm an active representative of Al Madina charity, it's a good time. So brother Ansar, who is the founder of the charity, may I give my salams to him. and may God reward him in this life and in the hereafter for the brilliant work that he's done. And he has actually done absolutely brilliant work. And also I've got to say a big up to Ahmed Yaqub. You know what I mean? There's a defense for every offense. So I have to give him a massive big up because I broke my fast with him down in Banbury last week. I went down to the Banbury Boxing Club to help out the kids down there, which is really, really cool going down there. So yeah, it's just about just keeping things moving. But massive shout out to Boxing King Media for always being on the ball and doing your bits and bobs. And you know what I mean? And I'll see you next week to tell you of my journeys and everything else of going out to get aid out. You know what I mean? Loads of people like to talk about things, but don't actually say, oh, I'm going, right? So I've taken it on myself. I said, I'm going to actually physically go. It's going to be an experience for me as well. So, you know what I mean? Alhamdulillah. All right, my bro. And on that note, I wish you safe travels. I know you're not driving back home now, but tomorrow I wish you safe travels. And everyone who's tuned into Boxing King Media, boxing is alive and kicking. And what we saw today just amplified that on another level. All right, my bro?
I fully agree, Spencer. I really appreciate you coming on at this time. Have a safe trip and all the best with all the work you're going to do out there as well. Thank you.
All right, bro. Assalamu alaikum, bro.
Win gold now. IPMB is giving away 5 24-karat gold coins to our token holders worth over $2,000 each.
Let's do this.
Thank you very much for this great news. It's amazing.
It's never been easier to own gold, so join the raffle now.
I got a question for you. Where can discipline take you? Discipline points you toward your goals.